Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Chris, welcome back.
Good morning. Thank you. Good to be back.
So, Adrian is on his way. Okay, so let's start with Jomar. Jomar, what did you do yesterday and what are you doing today?
So yesterday I did some fixing for my remove card, and especially sending the email to the backend since Manon just changed it to capture it from the request bodies instead of the sessions. So I fixed that and I cloned the website version 2 and it's now working fine in my local. And for later I'll check on my tasks for version 2. And I actually have a question regarding version 2.
Yes.
Is there a difference between the green strikeout and the just green dot on the task? I mean the legend.
Yeah. The green
Since
strike through, I'll just means it's done. It's been completed. And it's harder to see if it's not green. So green strike through just means that it's completed, and green dot means that it's ready to be pursued, and that'll turn into a strike through.
okay, so I just checked this number 39 and number 40 and I saw that it's already integrated. So is it done already?
Okay, so you're all good. Do you know what you're doing today then, Joe Mark?
Yes.
Any more questions?
None.
Okay,
No more question.
sounds good. And so Chris, maybe we'll get to you last. You can just follow along for now while we get through this. Ernest, what about you? What did you do yesterday and what are you doing today?
Yeah, morning. So I was waiting new commit for version 2 from Maxim, and just I saw it updated already 12 years ago. So now I'm trying to working on it, but I'm not able to walk it through, though I use the correct credentials. So now I'm trying to uh, keep an eye and some codes. That's all.
So you're having trouble? You're not able to get started?
Yeah. to be honest.
Why do we not have anything green for Ernest? Looks like we don't have anything green for Ernest. Is there something that we could change? I mean, account credentials, we could do that. Let's see. Number 15, account credentials. Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm trying to log in with new version 2, but though I'm using correct credentials for login page, but
Oh yeah, you're not able to log in.
yeah,
Yeah. How do we make it so that you can log in? Is that disabled right now, Maxim?
Which?
Logging into the website so that you can actually see this part? Because we
You
need,
need to log in, yes, but you need to run backend.
in order to log in, you need to run the back end.
sure, I already run the backend.
Okay, so he's running the back end and he's not able to log in. Can you show here, Max? Can you jump in this call and just give a tutorial on what it looks like to start the database and get all the way through? I'll let stop for a
Sure.
sec. I'll let you share your screen. So 1 sec, Ernest. I'm sure other people have this question. We'll have Maxim join and have him show exactly what he's doing
Okay.
to log in and everything.
Okay.
Wait, do your mic so it merges the audio? Should merge it.
Yes, by default.
Wait, you want to share your screen from the jump?
Let me start it.
It doesn't. I'm not picking it up right now. That's annoying. Just do entire screen.
Gary, where'd you get that animation in the background?
Oh yeah, we had somebody do Adobe or After Effects and make it real quick. I want to, as you can see, the color's slightly different from our color, so I'm gonna update that
Yeah.
and then repush it. And we also may have to decrease, degrade the quality of it for speed. But right now it's been pretty good on the locals. Hasn't been slowing it down.
So I'm using not Arch backend, I'm using TernKey backend and propose to log in here because on the Arch there should be some modifications made. Basically, you just need to have Manan's credentials, and I also configured OTP authentication. So
Okay, so use the TernKey. So Ernest, were you using the TernKey backend and Manan's credentials? Or were you trying to use your own credentials?
Manan devs mkdev24 at gmail.com.
And You were running the turnkey backend?
Fire-based backend branch.
What branch are you running in turnkey backend?
That's main branch.
Main branch.
I see.
Okay.
So
Give it
uh,
another
when-
try. Do turnkey backend, use the main branch. Just try it right now while we're on the call and we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And use Manun's credentials and you should be good. So if anybody else is having trouble accessing the profile, do that. Turnkey backend on the main branch and use Manun's credentials
okay.
for that. Okay, so who we got next? We have, let's get the JP. JP, how are you doing? What's your update?
I did some pull request testing yesterday, and um, and also I started working with the number 6 for version 2. The version 6 is still on the turnkey repository, and
Oh, okay, this
it's
is just a toaster, right?
yep, it's a toaster. And for that, I have some question regarding that.
What's
Um,
your question?
so the current um toaster is working like yeah, it's a dynamic or reusable components. It's a components, and I'm thinking if we should also make it like the success message components that they already have the message on there, and then they just need to call it, or 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 it's a component, and it's reusable component, and they're just gonna put the body or the children into it.
Yeah, they should definitely be reusable. The only difference with these guys is uh yeah, it should be renamed Manun, but it should be turnkey underscore capital B backend. Underscore, not a dash.
Yeah, and also I've made some modification with that. It's like, yeah, it's like for the Figma specs or design, and yeah, it's included the image. When you remove the image, it's like there's it's like a normal toaster for that component.
Yes. Yeah, we want the image to show up for authentication and for canceling or having an issue with payment processing. Those are the only two that have pictures associated with them.
Yeah, I made that like sending props to the component, and also, do we need to use the Neotin font for this? It because it's
Just what?
the thin one, the thin, the
The-
bold, yeah, the thin and the
Fonts.
bold, the fonts.
For the phone number should be bold. Yes.
Yeah, actually, I can show it to you right now, so we can have idea or how it should look like.
Sure. Maxim, you can stop sharing for now, your screen.
Yeah, so this is the result. I'm using the thin one and the bold.
Yeah, that looks fun. Yeah, we don't have to go over UI. That looks great.
Yeah, and when I change this one into, or I just remove wait just a sec. I made some modification with this.
That's there.
That Ernest is who was having trouble. Okay. And
Just a moment. Wait.
Yep, I see that. So who made that reusable component? Who made like the first one that we're now reusing over and over?
Um,
Do you know, Adrian?
I think it's Muhammad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This should look like this, sir. If it
All
doesn't.
right, great. Well, it seems like it. Yeah, it seems like it works well, and it's easy to adjust. So let's keep on going with that. and someone just we got to make sure that there's a timer on that. I know Adrian pointed that out.
Yep.
And it should definitely be a fade out kind of.
Okay.
Maybe a fade out, or maybe one of those like slide in, slide out from the side
And
for
then
desktop. I don't know.
That's why it's called a toaster.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot why it was called that. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good then. It won't be a toaster on mobile, I suppose. Be a drop down thing.
Mhm.
Okay, so Manun, your last update was that you finished everything on Firebase. I think you're still presenting that. So. Oh, okay. So, oh, you see that? Presentation. Okay, now it's gone. But yeah, so that's your last update, right, Manun?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
No. Okay. Other than that, you'll start working on some API documentation. And Gautam, you have any update for us? How's the Cypress progress going? You
Yeah.
know, we were
Mhm.
going through your testing. We're using Eraser just to have workflows understood.
Mhm.
Let's see where yours is. So how's the Cypress coming?
So yesterday, I mean, I was able to run the first test to log.
That's right.
Yeah. And today I'll be trying to do more, and also, like you said right yesterday, to test on some code coverages, like unit testing, like different types of tests, one
Mhm.
test each. So I'll try to do that today.
Yeah. So everyone's aware. Gautam's working on automated testing. We start in the develop environment, which is the develop branch. We cut a release, we decide, and we do a pull request that we run through automated tests, do a unit test integration end to end, and you know, they pass. We go to the staging environment, which is going to be something that happens before main. We'll implement this when we're ready. And if they don't pass, they return to the development environment. Then we do manual QA. And if that passes, we go to production. If not, back to the development environment. And over here, I'm just making the workflow for what that looks like. So the development environment is more just what we're doing now. But then when we decide to cut a release, you know, we keep on pumping features into this. And when we decide, all right, everything's working fine, we have like 10 new features in here. Let's cut a release, do a pull request to staging. Staging should be fine. And then in the case where, so this is where I'm implementing a hot fix. So imagine something goes wrong on main. What we would do is we would take a branch out of staging, as long as staging is completely up to date with main, which it should be. And we would do a checkout branch, which is basically taking a branch out of staging, fixing the one bug, and throwing it right back into staging. And then I didn't add this arrow yet, but then we would back merge to develop. We would back merge staging to develop. So that we avoid making any direct changes to main. We actually never want a change to occur to main. So this is one way around that. This is like getting into everything we want to do in the future, even having a feature database so that we can have, you can imagine every feature we have has a toggle, has a Boolean value next to it that we can choose to turn it on and turn it off. Just so if there is a bug in a feature and we know it's just a feature that did it, we can just turn off the feature instead of having main go down or something, or having to do a hot fix to keep production going. We can do a hot fix while production stays on, whatnot. Okay, so that's a little bit about testing and why testing is coming in and what staging environment means. So Sangeet, how about you? What's your update for us?
Hey, so I was doing some bug fixes in the Explore and the favorite pages as that was mentioned by Adrian yesterday. So there are some kind of bugs over here and there, but I need Adrian's confirmation on whether I need to touch it or not. So I just finished what he was assigned yesterday. So I just created 2 PRs, one for the front end and the other for the back end yesterday.
Okay. And Imam and Ashutosh and Manan, we're saving for after Scrum. We're going to go right into a little Arch meeting. Adrian, if you want to stick around and just hear what we're talking about, for sure. Maybe we could send you something to test out, possibly. So, but before that, I want to get Chris caught up to speed, and honestly, everybody a little more, because we have this at our disposal now. So, Chris, what we're doing is we have the web, or could you share your screen, Maxim, actually, because you're able to log in. I don't want to run the database on here. Because I just want to do a walkthrough of the website. So I'm gonna stop presenting. I'll let you present. And so let's just go to the front page. Okay. So we have our website, and our website takes on a lot of the roles of TernKey. Because if we go to product, we can go ahead and click on product. We can see we're able to enter TernKey, sure, but then we also have pricing and plans. So then pricing and plans is going to show up here. It's not going to show up inside of TernKey to save space, and to also, and because of how our profile now shows up inside of the website. And then we have our user manual, obviously. Let's log in. And so the reason that we have so many modals moving is because we also have, and let's open the profile settings. We have all of your billing and profile settings inside of the website as more of a company account instead of just a TernKey account. Because we also have Arch, you're going to want to just have a Tern account, like just with the company in general, so that you're able to tap into all future products and services easily. So you can see here, like just click an edit thing. Like this is where things have been moved. So Chris, instead of having those modals and settings for TernKey, we have to reroute some of these things into the website, which is why the Figma has that giant list of all the numbers on the right. It shows you what old modals from TernKey are going to be moved into the website. And then if we go to billing, subheader, so we get order information, but then down, if we go to manage subscriptions, we have okay, let's go back. Can we go to purchasing information? Oh, no, we don't have that available. Okay, I'll show my screen for now. Those are hard to show up with dummy data. So on billing page, you'll have a list of your past orders, and then when you click one, you'll be seeing an individual invoice kind of thing. And then you'll have managed subscription and purchasing information. Managed subscription, because it's possible that you have multiple. You decide to select one, bless you, and you get your current plan, and you also get the payment method that is for that plan, yada yada. Purchasing information is where you're able to export all invoices at once. You got payment methods. You can add billing details of the preferred payment method. And a lot of these are similar. Exporting invoice, you're able to choose a time frame for what you export. Cancel plan. So a lot of the stuff is the same, and it makes sense once you wrap your head around what we're doing. So this is explanations mostly for Chris. With this, you can see these are all of the old TernKey frames that are going to be essentially absorbed into the website. So if we look at what Maxim already did, change password modal that was inside of TernKey, it's not there anymore because all profile settings, it's associated with the number 1. We find the number 1 here, and we can see that this is where change password now occurs. Update password. So that's the gist. And we don't have you anywhere on here. So I don't even know if you'll technically be working on this spot. We might have you help us out on some bug duty with Sangeet, but that's let Adrian figure out where we could get you working at.
Yeah, it's working on myself.
Oh, you got it now. What was wrong? Changing?
Roads, yes.
Oh, the route. Okay. Well, now if you click through the website, you'll be able to get to the billing sections as well. Just needed to.
I need to commit.
Yeah, Maxim just fixed a couple routes. Oh, you need to commit it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, after he commits it. Okay, so that's good for Scrum for everybody. One thing I wanted to ask you, Adrian, is we wanted to have Maxim merge with main, basically with the website, have the website version 2 completely take over main and replace it entirely. But we wanted to make sure you knew that we were going to make that pull request so that you can be prepared to see what happens. And I'm not really sure what you would do to make it so that it just overpowers merge and we kind of delete whatever merge had and just replace it.
Yeah, it's easy. You just have to make sure that we have a backup of the website before, so just in case we have to refer to it, and then the version 2 can just take over the main branch, and I can just instead of using resolving conflicts, I can just make sure that it forces the new updates onto the main branch.
Understood. Yeah, because we'd love to have this on GCP now.
Okay.
All right, we'll figure that out.
One question: the welcome modal in the TernKey is still available, right? It's still gonna stay there, right? So I think I'm gonna task that to Chris because there's a bunch of bugs on that, including like once the user uses the back button it shouldn't come up because the user is still logged in. Also, certain like pages, if you try to do a create, press the create button, it comes up. It's not supposed to. Or if you do a back button on a certain page, a different modal comes up, like remember your password. Modal comes up, and then it also should. Yeah, there's a lot of bugs in it. It shouldn't come up when a user is still logged in and within the time of before the expiration.
Understood. Okay.
So just be prepared, Chris, because it needs a lot of use cases testing so that we can find out exactly like if it's working 100% or there's still a bug somewhere.
Okay. Sounds great. Yeah. All right. You get that, Chris? All good? All right. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later. Oh, yeah. Who likes Notion? And Ashutosh, you can use your mic. What are you doing? Is anyone opposed to Notion? The software documentation thing? Because I really like it. I feel like this would be a great way to put a great place to place all of our documentation. We'd start off with the TernKey documentation, and obviously inside of here, we're going to have our API, we're going to have database stuff, all this other juicy information, and we'll have a separate Arch documentation, and we will have a separate website documentation. The website documentation will be very simple in the beginning, but it's going to grow into a beast, so we want to make sure it's always a separate documentation. And then the fourth one will be coding guidelines. So very general rules of thumbs, little global naming conventions, how we code, yada, yada. Because one thing I was thinking about when I was talking to Ashutosh is told him how I thought this is pretty great code. I know a lot of this is a comment, but it's very easy to read. Like this looks like an email, right? It looks like an easy to read and digest email. Like the best emails are the ones that have they say like a sentence, they do spaces, and this stuff, this is tough. Like this might look nice and maybe have the right conventions and stuff, but I'd like for our guidelines to get even more specific as to how we can make this easier to read, because it is chunked in there. This comment is super ugly, and it almost looks like it is code and it was accidentally made a comment kind of thing. Like it's so that's why I just wrote like we need to code like we're talking to each other, because that's kind of what we are. We're like communicating information to other developers, and at the end of the day it ends up being functional code, sure, but like, treat it like you're writing an email. Like someone has to read it, and we should make it look good. Just because we're actually not talking to computers, we're talking to each other first, and then it tells the computer what to do. Just a little tidbit. Okay, so it sounds like Notion's cool. Nobody's jumping up and down in rage, so I'm going to assume that it's fine if we continue using Notion into the foreseeable future. And who knows, maybe one day we'll go to paper and pencil. Really, really get fancy. But okay, everybody, get out of here. We'll just keep Imam. Ashutosh, you can't keep throwing comments when I tell everybody to go. We'll address this later. Talk about it later. So Ashutosh, Imam, Manan, and Adrian, all of you could stick behind for the little fireside chat, and everybody else, you're good to go. Thank you. Did Ernest fix it? He's good. It seems like he did.